Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing wonderful over there. Thank you for connecting today. I am Alabi and I am so happy to have you here tonight. Oh, thank you for being there, Femi, Shiba, Dami Great, Ogunwi, AY. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. It's so wonderful to have you here tonight. And I know that this is going to be very educative, informative, and life transforming for you. I'll just give like two people to just tell us what is your expectation tonight. So I see somebody raising your hand already. Is there any other person that want to join the person? I just want to hear what's your expectation tonight. Femi, Femi, can you hear me? Because one thing about programs like this is that you must have an expectation. And okay, let me give Shiva Austin opportunity to speak. Please, you can go ahead and talk now. You can just unmute your mic.
Okay. Good evening, Jacob. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My expectation for this evening is I just know more and then see. Normally I've been trying to further my education. So I was looking for where I can not just get direction on how to go about it, but also how to fund it. So this is my expectation is that I should learn that how to get admission, how to apply for admission, and how to apply for scholarships. Thank you.
Hey, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. You're welcome here, and I trust that you're going to have the best uh, information here tonight. So, okay. So let me give Sister Priscilla opportunity to speak. What's your expectation tonight? My guest is already around, and to be a wonderful time to start.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. My expectation is actually to learn about how I can study abroad and to know what will qualify you, what will qualify me rather, and the things needed.
Okay, that's amazing. So thank you very much for coming around, and let me give Femi the opportunity to speak before I introduce my guest to all of you. So Femi, go ahead. All right, without much further ado, my guest tonight is Dr. Nzube Egboluche, and she's an ecologist and environmental scientist by training. She's very enthusiastic about attaining success through education. She obtained her doctoral degree in bioenvironmental sciences at State University, Baltimore, that's in Maryland, USA. She holds a master's degree from Michigan State University, East Lansing, Michigan, and that's fully funded by the MasterCard Scholarship Foundation program and a BSc in soil science from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So Dr. Egboluche has successfully assisted and guided many students in USA, Canada, and UK college and graduate applications. By going through the rigorous graduate application process and guiding other students, She knows the do's and don'ts of study abroad applications and how you can obtain financial assistantships, scholarships to fund your studies. As a senior consultant at ESA Global Education Services, she aims to reach and assist as many as possible Nigerian and African students interested in attaining their academic advancement abroad. So she pursues this with a great passion, and it's such a great honor to have her in our midst tonight. So I welcome you, Doctor. Thank you for joining us tonight. How are you doing this evening? Is your mic now?
Oops. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. That was so lovely. Thank you so much. How are we today?
Yeah, you're doing good. Actually, because of so that there will not be much interference, all participants are muted, so that we'll be
Okay,
able
no,
to take the best.
that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
I'm so happy to be in your midst, and I'm really glad to be here. Because I see most of you being in this, be participating in this session. That shows a kind of commitment to your dreams. Because one thing is, when you have a dream and you really want to achieve this dream, what happens is it triggers your brain to to be aware of any sources or any resources or information that can help you achieve that dream. And I know that is why most of you are here today. And I'll be glad to, point you to the right direction and give you the information that you really want. Yeah, just a little bit about myself. So, as Jacob said, my name is Dr. Nzube Egboluche. So if I recently obtained my doctoral program in the US from Morgan State.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And this achievement, I must tell you, is not just something you just sleep and you obtain that. It's a lot of determination, hard work, and persistence. And I think maybe if I wasn't that persistent, I would have just, not finished it. Because just thinking about obtaining a PhD, you see that in the US, not less than 1% of the US population actually have a PhD. Just think about that. So, and for me, I was once in your situation. I was once in your position. When I finished my undergrad from University of Nigeria in Nsukka, I really want to travel abroad for my master's program and PhD program, because that was my dream. That was just something I wanted to do. And I was really sourcing for information because I never knew how to do it. I didn't have any friend who have done it, who I can actually ask questions one-on-one. So I was really scouting for information, just like you guys are doing right now. And that was my first move, scout for information. How can I go about this? But I think one thing I would say is I actually know why I wanted to do this. My why was my driving force. And because my why is such a great why, it's actually made me, the way your brain triggers. It triggers me to be creative, to start looking for ideas, information, looking for resources. And you know what they say about the law of attraction. Where your mind is, that's where treasure is, or where your treasure is, that's where your mind is. So my mind was in the US. I really want to come to the US, and whatever you are telling me, all I need is just that information. How do I go about this? What are the steps? What are these? My parents don't have money to sponsor me. How do I even get this done? And, I would tell you, when I finished my secondary school, I got an admission in this US to do my undergrad, but my parents, they didn't, there was no money. He couldn't provide, what is it called, financial statements. And I didn't know how to do scholarship stuff as at those days. I forfeited the scholarship, the admission, and I did my undergrad in Nigeria. But then after my undergrad, I really wanted to do my, come to the US, relocate to the US, but one thing I know, because I know my parents don't have the money, and obviously I just finished undergrad, I don't have the money also. What I did was, how can I get that money? Because that was the only hindrance I had. I had my time to do the application. I have my bachelor's degree because I was done with my bachelor's. So I had every other thing I could think about. The only thing I didn't have was the money. So my quest was the quest on how can I even get this money, But the idea of getting all this, while I was scouting for how to even get this money, how did they do the scholarship thing? How do I even go about searching for the scholarship? It didn't deter me from actually pursuing my dream. While I was doing my application, I was still sourcing, asking information, how can I do this? And I always advise students, once you are doing this, don't try to ask questions from people who have gone through the process, not someone who is still with you in Nigeria, who has not even done anything. So you need someone, to learn from experience, because when someone is teaching you from experience, that's the real deal. Because the person is going to tell you, okay, these are the things I did that didn't go well. You have to do it this way, that kind of a thing. So during my own time, I got somebody who actually mentored me and who passed through this process I was trying to pass through. So I was actually learning from her own experience. So she was really guiding me from her own experience, and that led to my success today. So, so that was what I did. I had to source for a mentor to guide me through my, the study abroad process and all of that. What is it all about, and how do I go about scholarship thing? How do I even, those questions I guess most of you may have tonight. So that's a little bit about me. That was how I came to this country. I got a master's to do my master's program here. And fortunately, I also got a scholarship because my parents never had the money. So, and my scholarship actually covered for every damn thing. When I mean everything, I mean from the flight, visa, everything, accommodation, tuition, so that was how my story began. And even when I came here, I didn't just come here to just, start enjoying life. I had to bend down to learn, to actually learn the process so I can teach other people. Because I know so many, especially now, people really need this information, because I realized that, coming to abroad or US or UK or Canada to study is not just for those who have money. Anybody can actually do this. You can relocate abroad through study pathway. You don't have to have money. All you need to do is to put in the work, follow guidance, trust the process, and you will get to your destination. That is something I will tell you guys. You're gonna get to your destination. All you need is to use that thing you have now. You have your time. You've done undergrad. You can write. You have everything. Then what is that thing you don't have? Use that thing. Use what you have right now to get what you don't have, and everything will actually align together. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you have any burning question.
Yeah, I'm so much interested in this study pathway, how you discover that and how you are able to implement it. But even before I go into details about asking questions along the line, there is a lot of misconception. There are lots of misconceptions about studying abroad. Some believe that it's only for first class students and for very, very brilliant students, not the likes like that. So you might have people here that possibly the result they had from their university is not really that encouraging. Is there still opportunity for such kind of people?
Thank you for that question. I just left a meeting right now, and this thing, this question you just said, you just asked right now came up. So
Wow.
I have been mentoring students, right? So, I've been guiding students on how to do the application, and then they will get admission. I will still prep them on the visa question and how to compose all those things, right? Because I went through the process. So if you have a 2-2 or whatever third class, or you have HND, whatever it is, you can still, there is a future for you. Study abroad is also for you. Why I'm saying, I just had a recent mentee who just came to Canada to do her master's. She had a 2-2. However, a friend of hers told her she's not going to get admission because she doesn't have a 2-1 or first class. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I was like, this person telling you this thing, is this person in the US or Canada that you want to go to? She said no. Okay. Has this person gotten admission? Maybe she felt like she had the 2-2. I mean, she had a 2-1. Has she gotten admission abroad? She said no. Okay. So I was like, so why are you listening to this person? Because this person is just saying whatever. I don't even know where they got that information from. So I'm just going to tell you guys today, if you have a 2-2, HND, lower, whatever results you have, you can still apply for study abroad. You can still apply. Number one, your transcript or GPA is not the only document you submit when you are applying for study abroad or you want to study. That's not the only document you submit. There are other application documents like your statement of purpose. Most of you have heard that's what they call SOP. There, you have your recommendation letters. You have your application, your online application form. You have your resume. You have, if it's a school that requires that you take all these use of English or whatever, you take those exams, you have that. So GPA only, I always mention this, only good GPA or high GPA can never get you admission. Why I'm saying this is because I have another mentee. She came to me because she got a rejection. Someone referred her to me. And I was asking, she was like, oh, she has a good GPA. I was like, okay. Can I see other documents you submitted and why they reject? Because I want to know why they rejected you since you have a good GPA. So she sent me her resume. She sent me her essays. I just, one glance on the resume, I just said, okay, if I'm an admission officer, I'm not going to give you admission. That's what I told her straight away. Because your resume doesn't tell me anything. And your essays are not telling me anything compelling, anything, that is fascinating about you. So one thing you need to know over here is every school wants to admit students who can add value to their community. So if they see that you don't have any, maybe your resume is not telling them that you are valuable, or your essays that is not telling them that you are valuable, they're not going to, even though you have a first class, they won't give you admission. So it's just something you need to know. Only good GPA cannot get you admission. So if you have a 2-2 and other of your documents, resume is up to standard, your essay is fascinating, they can actually, they saw something unique in you based on your essay and your other document, recommendation letters, your recommenders, they wrote something intriguing, they wrote something strong and compelling about you, why wouldn't they give you admission? They will. Because even in your SOP, if you think you have a very low GPA, you can address, the blemish. We call it a blemish. You can address that in your SOP. Or maybe you finished school, you didn't get a job for 2-3 years. You can address that gap in your SOP. So there's nothing, having a 2-2 or third class or having an HND still grants you admission. And I will leave this with you. Please, if you guys, I have a YouTube channel. This question that was just asked now, I addressed it in one of my videos. And if you can just type in right now on your, I know maybe on your phone, on your YouTube, and just say Dr. Nzube Egboluche. I don't know if there's any way you can type it on the platform for, for most of them to just log in, go to the YouTube video. Please subscribe. There are informative videos right there for you to watch based on success tips to study abroad. You will learn more, okay? And you can share with your friends. If there's any of your friend who is in the process or who is actually thinking about it, you can share, my YouTube video with them. They will thank you. I know that, and I will appreciate you for that. So, so that will be my answer to that question. And if you have any other question regarding that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ma. While you were speaking, you mentioned some things that, although I think I can see 2 or 3 people here that might understand what you are trying to pass across, but I still have a whole lot of people here that they might not understand. Like when you are talking about the fact that it's not only your GPA that matters when you are studying abroad, you mentioned of several other things like the SOP, the essays, and the resume.
Mm-hmm.
So, particularly the SOP, what actually is the SOP?
So basically, the statement of purpose, that's what they call SOP, statement of purpose. So the statement of purpose is one of the application documents that you submit while submitting your application package, right? So that statement of purpose is where is a document that you tell the admission committee about who you are. You tell them about your academic background. In that same SOP, you tell them about relevant experiences or skills that you have acquired that qualifies you or that makes you eligible to be a best fit to that program you're applying for. I will give an example. So if you are applying for, let me pick a course, maybe public health, right? So, so in your SOP, you're gonna tell them, number one, what motivated you to study public health? Why did you pick their school instead of several other schools in the US? What is that thing? What, based on your academic background, what has prepared you to be able to do a master's or to be able to do a PhD program in public health? So you're going to tell them your academic exposure. Maybe you took several health courses in your undergraduate course and you learned this about this. You acquired this skill while working after you graduated or while doing your undergraduate research or projects. You learn this and this. You have to tell them basically your academic background, how your academic background have prepared you to do a master's program in public health, or how your work experience has prepared you to do a master's in public health. You have to tell them why are you different? What are those skills that made you different? Do you have like, maybe data analysis skill or research skill, or can you work with a team, or do you have curious mind, like critical thinking? Like you have to show them what are those skills that you have already developed that made you think you can succeed in doing masters in public health. You have to tell them why is their school the best school for you to apply to. So you have to, these are in your, that's what you write in the SOP, and that's what SOP is all about. It just tells the admission committee who you are and what value you are bringing to their community.
Okay, thank you, Ma. And another question I would love to ask before I give room for people to ask a question is, when we're talking about this SOP, it's in some sense looks as if we are talking about academic CV, right? So I want to know I believe so many people will be thinking that what actually is the difference between SOP and academic CV. So I don't know if you can help us with that.
So SOP is not, okay, SOP is not a resume. SOP is an essay. It's kind of a story. You are telling them a story about yourself, right? So a CV is the same as a resume, right? But a CV, what makes it different from a resume is because a CV is basically used for academic professionals, right? So that's why, some people use it interchangeably because the format of a CV, can be a little bit different from normal resume, right? But CV and resume, people use it interchangeably, but specifically CV is used for academic professionals like your professors, or if you're applying for a job as an assistant professor or a lecturer in a university. You have to format your resume as a CV. It's a formatting different. Then your resume is just where your resume is, you tell us about where your education, your skill, the work you've done. That's what resume is all about.
All right, I see.
Okay, I think I saw someone's hand was up initially. Any other question? I think, is it Eminent wanted to say something? I saw your hand up. Any other question? Okay, Austin, you can ask your question.
Hi, Nzube. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Okay, so I wanted to ask someone who has a third class and in sciences, but has a job, or rather, her job experience or his job experience has mostly been in management and sales, like sales, marketing, office management, business development management, all those things. But your background, your course of study during your BSc was in the science, was pure science. Both coming out of the university and you served
you
all your job
into management.
exactly into sales, real estate marketing. When you want to further, like when you want to create a career path, what steps will you take? Because obviously your CV has to rhyme with whatever course it is you're going to study because of your SOP. So
Right.
what pathway would you say the person should take? Thank you.
You're welcome. That's an interesting question. And this question you asked, many students fall into a trap. So because, as you said, because the person studied bachelor's in science, who knows, biology, and then you've been working in sales management and all of that. And because you studied biology, in your undergrad, you think you will go and apply for masters in biology or health science or whatever, whereas you don't have any prior experience. Okay? So I always tell students, think about this in two ways. Do you have enough academic, okay, that your biology, you remember you're going to write an essay, a story, you tell them about your experience, what you are bringing to the table. So if you've never worked in anything science, in anything health science, you've never done that, or you've never done any research in biology, like there is nothing. So there is no story you can tell to justify your application into masters in biology or masters in health science. So what I tell students, where do you have experience in? You did biology, okay, fine. And you've been for 4 or 5 years, you've been working in sales management and all of that. My advice is for the student to apply to any course related to sales, like project management, like business administration, like, those courses related to what he or she has acquired experience in. That is what I advise my mentees. You apply to those because you will have a story, you will have an experience to talk about, because you have acquired so many skills while doing sales job or management job, or you've acquired so many experiences, you have stories to tell. So you go for those kind of course because you've started a career in that already. So you just go for that. If you apply for let's say you applied for masters in let's say, is it project management or business administration, and you come over to US or Canada, wherever country you want to go to, and you maybe while doing that, you think, oh God, I think I want to go back to science. That is you. But that's going to be a long route though, because, you don't really have any experience. You have to also start looking for how do you gain experience in that science area. So, as I said, my advice is you should apply to a course. Just using your example, you apply to courses related to management, sales, and all of that. That will be your best shot, because you have, even though your transcript, yes, is in science, it's just one out of 100 documents you're going to submit. So, but your resume, your SOP, and maybe any other essay they want you to write, and your recommendation letters. Remember, you've worked in sales and management for who knows, 2, 3 years, 1 year, 4 years, whatever. So your recommenders may come from your network, and they're going to recommend you based on how they know you, and they have known you in sales. They've known you in the management role. They're going to recommend you based on that. So when this is how all your package is going to rhyme, and it will be strong in that area. So that will be my advice and suggestion. I hope that answered your question.
Austin, I believe your question is handled, right?
Yes, it was answered. Thank you very much, Nzube. I wanted to clarify something, because I made a statement and said that it would be very difficult for you to go straight into a master's program, seeing that, okay, like I said initially, a third class, even as much as you have all that you need to go through a PGD. And then secondly, they will tell you, okay, so you're going for a course that universities here in Nigeria study, and you have them available. So for what particular reason? Why are you now wanting to go take for instance, now do your MBA? Why would you want to do your MBA in the US or in Canada when you can actually do your MBA here in Nigeria? Instances like that. How do you?
Okay, you mean how you answer such question?
Yes,
right?
Please.
So one thing you need to know is they are asking you that question because they just want to know your train of thought, right? Because whatever course is offered in Nigeria is offered in the US. some of those courses, not most of them, some of the courses offered in Nigeria is offered in the US or in Canada. They are, but they want to know what is actually your reason of not doing it in the US. I mean, doing it in Nigeria and you want to do it in the US. It's a normal question, and that question is something you should have thought about, or even think about, or even have written it somewhere. Because if you're applying to a school, let's say in the US, and you are writing your statement of purpose, you have to tell that school why you are choosing their school, right? You have to do that. And for you to do that, you may have researched about the school. Then you see reasons why you have to apply to this school. And the same thing, you tell whoever, maybe is a visa interviewer, whoever they are, maybe a graduate officer in a school is asking you. You have to tell them, based on your research, because you have seen that Nigeria, even though they are doing this course, and in the US they are doing this course, what makes it different? What makes it different? Because one, you will look at the academic curriculum of the one in the US. You look at the school, there are so many things, the professors, you look at whatever other opportunity attached to the school curriculum that will actually gain you practical experience. You look at the school structure. You look at the standard of education. These are different, because you can, education system in Nigeria compared to the US, they are like day and light, daylight and night, right? So it's very obvious that they are different. The same thing goes with the academic curriculum. And you know your personal and professional goal. How does that, the one in Nigeria, with whatever curriculum in Nigeria, will it help you achieve your personal and professional goal? These are questions, you think about when, thinking about study abroad. Because some people just do study, I want to apply, I want to travel abroad. But they've not actually sat down to reflect and think about, what is my goal? What is my why? My purpose of doing this? Those are real questions you need to address. So when thinking about that, that's where you start thinking about, okay, why should I even go to this school? You have to research about the school, know what the school offers, right? So that's the way to go about that question. They basically know that the US system is better than Nigeria. So they just want to hear your own personal view and perspective, why you made that decision. That's all they want to hear from you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
And should I add, it's good to hear your voice?
Huh?
It's good hearing from you again.
No worries. Thank you. Eminent?
Please unmute your mic, sir.
Okay. We can
Hello,
hear you
good
now.
evening.
Good evening.
Yes. The question I want to ask is, if anybody have a tutu, must the person write any exam like GRA or TOEFL, or it's not necessary they write any exam related to that before they get admitted?
Okay, so you writing exam depends on the school you choose to apply to. If that school requires that you write that exam, then whatever exam they require that you do, you just go and take that exam. For example, some people will just go and do TOEFL. I hear, they are writing, you have to write exam, they will go and do exam. And maybe the school they plan to apply to, they don't even, maybe that school requires TOEFL. And when they went to write, who knows, IELTS, or went to write another use of English exam, then I don't know. The school will still want you to give them what they are asking you of. So the best thing I tell students is, if you are applying to a school, before you do anything, thing. Go and check the admission requirements. Make sure you know what they require for you to be admitted into that program. And then require as an international student that you write any exam like GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS, whatever it is, then you can. Some schools, they will require that, but then they may have exemptions of country. So you will go and check, okay, are they exempting any country? Is Nigeria included? Is my country included in the country of exemption? And then if your country is exempted from taking that use of English exam, then you don't have to. But if your country, you are required to take that exam, then you have to take it because it's among the admission requirements. So remember, before you are admitted to a school, you're supposed to have submitted all the admission requirements they mentioned in their website before they get you admitted.
Okay, thank you.
I hope that answered your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. I saw Rita's hand is up.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, Dr. Rita. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Nice to hear from you again.
Awesome.
Yes, just one quick one. I just want to find out, is it possible for someone with first degree in Nigeria to get a PhD admission without master's degree in the same line of course?
Yes, that's a straight yes.
Okay.
So in the US, I know many people don't know this because in Nigeria, they make you to do bachelor's and then do master's before you do PhD. In the US, you don't have to. So US, if you go to their website, some school almost all the school websites, they would say for you to get to, to apply for a PhD program, they need your bachelor's. You must have a bachelor's degree or equivalent. That means that equivalent, those who even have a HND. That's why I recommend you go watch that my YouTube video. Those who have HND, you can basically apply for a PhD program in the US using your HND. You don't need a master's. Once you meet all the criteria they mentioned in their admission requirement, then you can apply for a PhD in whatever program you want to apply to using your bachelor's.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I know it's strange. Some people find it strange, but yes, you do it in the US. You don't need to waste your money.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Doctor. But before we bring this to a close, the topic of the program is in 3 phases. The first one is on scholarships, and you have done a lot of justice to that. The other one is working, and the next one is staying abroad. There are so many people here that want to stay abroad, just like you. So I wanted to elaborate what you mean by the study pathway.
Okay, so that's a good question because when you tell people study pathway, they may not really understand that. They think it's just you coming to study and then going back. Study pathway is a pathway if you want to relocate to the US, that is a pathway you can use to relocate and stay in the US. That's what I mean. Whenever I mention study pathway, that's just the meaning. Except when you come and you decide willingly you want to go back to Nigeria, that's fine. But I've not really seen anybody who come to the US and after their study, they go back. I've not really seen, to be sincere with you, I've not really seen anyone. So, okay, just, by saying that. So when I say study pathway is, I love the study pathway because it's faster and it's easier, right? Why it's faster is because once you apply to a school, just like right now, now is a time for application. Now is when you do application. If you want to be in the US, Canada next year, this is the time you need to start, right? So once you start your application, all you need is just like 10 months or so, you know, not even, it's not up to 10 months because that depends on, you know, the school, how they do the admission, the deadline of the application and whatever. So once you apply, all you need is to get admission. And once you get admission, you follow through with the process of the visa. And once your visa is granted as a student, you come to the US or Canada, wherever you want to go. So when you get to your country, I will use US as an example because I'm here. So when you get to the US, the next thing is, of course, you are in school, so you're gonna do your school thing. And when you graduate, there is a pathway for you to become a resident in the US as a student. So there is a pathway. I know most of you will say, oh, you have to marry somebody who is a citizen. There are so many things people say, but I will tell you, you don't have to do all of that. I'm not yet married, okay? But
Wow.
I have gotten my residency, okay?
Wow.
I'm a resident. So you don't have to follow whatever that is out there. You just have to follow whoever that have done the experience, you know? So you don't, that's the pathway. When I say pathway, that's what I mean. You come in here relocating and you decide to stay, there is a pathway for you to become a resident. Many people don't know this in the US. Even people who are inside the US, they still don't have that information. Because one thing in the US is the greatest country you can think about. Even people in Canada, they know it. Some of them still want to come to the US if given the opportunity, right? People in UK, the same thing. They want to come to the US if given the opportunity. So US is the greatest and number one country you can think of. It's a land of opportunity. That's what they call it. Land of freedom and land of opportunity. So there's no how you're going to come here and you say you don't have anything doing. Then you are still locked even though you lock yourself inside your room, there is still something knocking at your door to come and do. So it's a study pathway where you come in as a student and you want to remain here, then there is a pathway for you to obtain your residence, okay? And you don't have to do anything. You just have to do this as a student on your own. You apply for that. So that's what I mean by pathway, you know. You can come in and stay.
I believe many Nigerians will love that part. Come in and stay.
Another thing I want to add, I know some countries, they will say, oh, this school does not postgraduate permit. This school gives this. In the US, for every university that admits international students give you postgraduate permits to work after you graduate.
Wow.
Once is a 4-year university, normal university, 4 years. They give you, once you finish as as an international student, you are eligible to apply for work authorization.
Wow.
So different countries differ. Like in Canada, not every school does that. In the US, every 4 year, when I mean 4 year, there are different things. There are what they call community college. Like in Nigeria, we have people who do OND, right? That OND is just 2 years, right? The same thing here. We have community college, 2 years, there is just 2 years. So the same thing. So not those ones. I mean normal, regular university. 4-year any school that admits you, you are eligible. Once you finish, you're eligible for work permit.
Okay. So you are saying, from what you have said now, you mean residence. I'm trying to differentiate. Is it the same thing as being a citizen or a resident
So being a citizen, so number one, you have to become a resident of that country. Then you can now apply for citizenship. So the first criteria to become a citizen is you becoming a resident first.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and you apply for the citizenship.
All right. I don't know if anyone here still
Is
have
there
a
any other
question.
question?
Anyway, before we bring this to a close. Okay.
Say something.
Please go ahead and talk, Austin.
Oh, thank you very much for this session. It's really educative. So I wanted to ask, like you said earlier in the beginning, you went fully on a fully funded scholarship. So when do you do the application for the scholarship? Is it when you have your admission, or I don't know? Can you explain the route to getting a full funded scholarship?
That's a really good question, because I see students email me, I need to apply for a scholarship, and I will ask them, have you applied to any school at all? They will say no. I'm like, okay. That's the first thing you need to do. So basically, for you to even start applying for scholarship, remember, scholarship is like you're applying or requesting somebody to give you money, telling somebody that, oh, you're worth the person's money. You understand? That's what applying scholarship means. So one thing is, you have to, first thing first, you have to do your regular application to a school. Because some of these scholarships, they would want you to have, is either you have applied already and have evidence of that application, or you have gotten the admission already before you can even apply for that scholarship. So, so scholarship requirement differs, okay? The one, I will use the one I applied for example. So the one I used to come to the US, so I applied that after I have been admitted. However, the scholarship, when I applied for my admission in the university into the program, so I have been admitted, but they have not given me official letter of admission. So while I submitted my application, I didn't even know how to even go about the scholarship thing, but what I did was to email professors, just to ask for graduate position. Do they have research position, stuff like that. That was what I did. I emailed professors, not one, not two. I emailed professors within that program. I think almost all the professors within that program, I emailed them, right? So, because you don't know who is going to get back to you, right? So I emailed everybody. All the professors, based on I have read their stuff. I emailed them because, those that have similar research interests with me, I emailed all of them, right? So to request for any stuff. So what happened was, two of them sent me a link to that particular scholarship. Even though one of them said, oh, I don't have any space in my lab, but you can utilize this scholarship. I was like, oh, okay. At first I was reluctant, something you're new to, right? So another professor, the same thing. Oh, I'll be needing a student at this so period. So when you come into this school and you've not gotten a lab at this time, please come to my lab, and still sent me that scholarship link. I was like, wow, okay, I think this is legit. That was how I clicked on the link and I started applying. And that was how I got to know about the scholarship. I never knew about it. So that's why, there are strategies that you seek for both assistantship, scholarship. There are all these hidden, because they are hidden scholarship. It wasn't posted anywhere on the website. I didn't see it. But because I used the strategy, that was how I got information about that scholarship. And that was how I applied. And, because I'm in communication with professors, they are the one that recommended the department to forward my name for that scholarship.
Wow.
So yeah, my name was forwarded. They reviewed my application, essays, and all that, and that was how I got the scholarship. So, you're gonna use apply strategies.
Wow.
Yeah, you first of all have to apply to this. If I didn't apply to the school, number one, I'm not gonna get the scholarship. I won't even know about the scholarship. So scholarships, even though you are applying to a particular country, there are scholarships specific to that country. So you have to first of all apply to a school in that country in order to even be among or to be eligible to apply for that particular scholarship in that country. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, sure does. Thank you very much.
We have another person. Please, open your mic, Akande, and ask the question.
Yep, you can.
Please unmute your mic.
Yes, I just remembered. So from the explanation you gave now, it means that for some of the universities that you need to pay an application fee before your application will be processed. You have to pay, get the admission first before you apply for scholarship. Because before now, I was thinking that because of the scholarship advertisements, that there will be a waiver for the students not to pay the application fee. I don't know if my question is clear. I just need clarification.
Okay, so that's a good question. So basically, when I apply, you apply to a school. Even though you've not been given admission, you can still apply to any scholarship within that school, right? If they ask for your admission letter, then that is different. You can actually email whoever that is the contact person for that scholarship. Let the person know that, oh, you've applied to this school, of course, and you apply to this program. You can, if you have any application ID, you can send also your application ID just to prove that you have actually submitted the application into that school. You understand? So you don't necessarily have to wait until
the application fee.
So for the application fee waiver,
I mean,
you want to say something?
Yes, I said for the application fee, I need to pay for application fee, get the admission first before applying for the scholarship, right?
So for you to even submit your application, you have to pay application fee to submit the application. Okay? So once you have submitted, you can start then and start scouting for scholarship available within that program, within the school, within the country of that, wherever you're applying to. You can also get an application waiver if you email. Some schools offer up, depending if you're applying. Sometimes if you're applying so early, or you send an email. Some of them you can, if you email them and say, oh, can you get application waiver because you're having financial this and that? Some of them consider that, some of them don't. So everything is you putting yourself forward. Whichever one you get, whichever benefit you get, that's fine. Some people give application waiver, maybe they will bring out a month or a timeline and say, if you apply within this particular period, the application fee will be waived. So once that period is over, that's it. Whoever that is applying will pay for the application fee. So you have to, once you finish filling your application form, for you to even submit that application, you will be asked to pay the application fee. But if you have been given application waiver, They may give you a code to put, to waive the application or whatever. So however depending the school. Yeah, but you have to pay in order to even submit your application. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, ma. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Hey, Akade, I hope you are going to speak up now. This will be the last question I'll be taking because of our time. Please unmute your mic and speak. Kindly press the big button at the middle of your screen so that we can hear you.
Yeah, press the microphone button on your screen.
Okay, I think we have to shut that. Okay,
Yeah.
Doctor, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak with you and to enlighten us on this very cogent matter. On a final note, I want to ask you, you are presently outside of the country, you are living there in the US, and yet you are reaching out to so many people as you can get around you to help them to study abroad. So you have a heart
that's something.
that though you are outside of the country, you still remember home and everything. But I've seen.
Actually, that's me. Sorry, continue. If you are, I thought you are
okay. Because I've seen so many people that just want to leave the country and then they will say no more. It's as if they are running away. So I don't know if they are here so that you can, advise them and give them a word that they will hold on to.
Sure, thank you for that. So I think what I'm doing is out of really passion, because just I was in many of you's shoe. I remember what I passed through, lack of information and lack of assistance. So that is something that has been in my mind. So since I came to the US and figured out how things are working and how to go about stuff, since then I've been really guiding and assisting students to go through the rigorous application process. So, and that's why I created a platform. So I call it the Masterclass Training Platform, where I train students, guide them, step-by-step guidance on how they do their application. I help them review their documents to make sure they are up to standard, that will actually gain them admission. Because you applying is one thing, then getting the admission is another thing. So, so that's what I use my platform to do, to offer that assistance. I have been doing it like one-on-one, because I've been studying, I don't have that much time. So I've been taking one student at a time. So, but now with the Masterclass Training Platform, I can take more than one student at a time. So that way, I will give individual students, the time they need. I will connect with you based on your personal experience and help you walk through the whole application process, because that is really easier. Because doing it yourself, you don't know where to start from. You are scouting, going through YouTube from morning till, and yet you are still so confused because so many things are not clear to you, right? So that's what my masterclass platform is for. And that's what I do. And Jacob, I don't know if you can, put my name, Dr. Nzube Egboluche. You can check me on YouTube, and you can connect with me on Instagram as ax_dr Dr_Nzube. You can connect with me on Instagram. You can also connect with me on Facebook using my name, Nzube Egboluche. So if you are interested in kicking off your study abroad and relocation process, and you need that mentorship, I would tell you, you need it. Just hit me up and we'll get you started. Okay? And
It's all right. Please continue.
oh yeah, so that's what I will leave with you. And I will tell you, when you start your process and come over here, it will be a whole new chapter for you. I've not all the people I have assisted and are here, they've never for one day told me, oh, I regret coming over here. I've never heard that. And that means a lot, because here you have more opportunity. You are getting paid. You have jobs. Like, jobs are looking for you. You are not the one looking. They are actually knocking at your door. And you can really help your family, because some people will say, oh, okay, I'm single, I want to get married. There are just so many things. I'm like, you can actually do this as a young girl, a young lady. You just focus on yourself, relocate, and you can help your siblings. Just like me, during that time, none of my siblings has gone through this. I was the first person. Nobody understood what I was doing. I was just, because I really want to do it. I knew that there is something greater, there is something more. And I know I wanted more. So that was the thing. And I know all of you here, you guys want more. You guys want to do the same thing. You want to change your story. You want to impact and influence people around you. You can do the same thing. Just take the leap of faith. Some people will say, oh, I'm scared, I don't know. No, if you are scared, you will never grow. You will never do anything great, because, that fear is creeping you down. There's something they call leap of faith. You take it. You can do something while being afraid. Me, I did it while being afraid. I don't know what I was doing, but because I knew I needed something more, needed something greater, then I did it. And here I am today. And I know I have, my story have inspired so many, and so many are taking that bold step. I urge you guys to take that bold step also. You need mentorship, I'm here, connect with me, and I will guide you through it. You don't have to, what do they call it? They call it beating around the bush. You don't have to do that. You don't need any agents to send your millions to. No, you can actually do this on your own. All you need is that little guidance. That's someone that will give reliable and true information. That's all you need. We are all smart. Nobody, that a school rejected your application doesn't mean you are not even smart. You are smart. It's just that there is something you didn't do, or an oversight, or something you didn't know about. That's it. You just need that guidance, and you will get to that destination and achieve your dreams. That's what I will tell each and every one of us today. Because when you do it, you're going to help so many other people. When you learn the process, you will teach so many people around you. That's how we grow. You teach somebody else, that person will teach somebody else, and that's it. That's how you grow. So I would say, don't allow your dream to fade off. Keep fanning the flame. Keep seeking for information. Keep acting. Don't just wish. Act. Act. All these small steps, like this small step you made today to come on this session, is a small step toward that will amount to a bigger thing. A little while. You just have to keep doing it. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. I think that will be all for now. And I want to really appreciate you. Thank you for taking your time to reach out to Nigerians and Africans. I pray that God bless you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful. And I'm glad, most of you came with questions, and your questions were answered and clarified. And that will actually help you to keep moving forward, because that's what we want, moving forward. Okay? Thank you so much. And I hope to meet each and every one of us sometime. And maybe some of you, I may see you in my masterclass training. so we get you started. Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be ending the show here, but by this time, 8:30 next week again, I'll be hosting another person of notable impact like Dr. Zubi, so that we can continue along the line. And like she had said, I'm going to drop some details about social media handle so that anybody that is interested in all the things that she has said regarding the masterclass, you can kickstart that without much stress. So next week, I will love to see you again. See, one thing about knowledge is that you continue to add knowledge to knowledge until you get to that place that you are going.
That
So,
is true.
especially on scholarship, you can't say I've known it all, I know everything. So the last time when I hosted someone, okay, I hosted two people last week. They said something and somebody applied what they said, and within 2 days, I received the report that the person was admitted. Something that, in fact, it was so amazing. So knowledge is sweet. So don't joke with knowledge. Next week we shall meet again, and I want to wish you a wonderful, happy night rest anywhere you are. Using Nigerian atmosphere to greet you in case you are in the morning. So thank you very much, and that will be all for now. Thank
Thank you
you,
so much,
and
and good night, everyone.
good night to you too, Doctor. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye. Mhm.